हरिः ओम् नमस्सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य कृदन्तप्रकरणस्य 63तमः पाठः। अस्मिन् वर्गे खच् प्रत्ययस्य अध्ययनम् अग्रे अनुवर्तिष्यते। प्रारम्भे वन्दनम्। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। मुनित्रयं नमस्कृत्य तदुक्तिः परिभाव्य च वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकौमुदीयं विरच्यते। अस्य कौमुदी वर्गस्य पञ्चप्रयोजनानि। सिद्धान्तकौमुद्याः कृदन्तप्रकरणस्य सर्वेषां सूत्राणां विस्तारेण अध्ययनम्। यत्र आवश्यकं तत्र अन्येषां व्याख्यानानां साहाय्येन शास्त्राध्ययनम्। सर्वेभ्यः धातुभ्यः यथा योग्यं कृत्प्रत्यययोजनम्। कृत्प्रत्यये परे रूपनिर्माणप्रक्रियायाः अभ्यासः तथा च अष्टाध्याय्याः तृतीयाध्यायस्य कण्ठस्थीकरणम्। ह्यस्तनवर्गे अस्माभिः खच् प्रत्ययस्य अध्ययनं प्रारब्धम्। किञ्चित् पुनरावर्तनं कृत्वा अग्रे सरामः। विशिष्टेभ्यः धातुभ्यः कर्मणि उपपदे नो चेत् सुबन्ते उपपदे कर्त्रर्थे अयं खच् इति प्रत्ययः विधीयते। अस्मिन् खच् प्रत्यये खकारः इत्संज्ञकः अस्ति। तत्र प्रत्ययस्य खित्वात् अरुर्द्विषदजन्तस्य मुम् इति मुमागमः इति अत्र प्रयोजनम्। खच् प्रत्यये चकारः अपि स्थापितः अस्ति। अस्य चकारस्य प्रयोजनं तु चिन्त्यम्। तत्र पूर्वपक्षः उत्तरपक्षः इत्येतेषां सर्वेषां पठनम् अध्ययनं कृत्वा अन्ते ख इत्यपि साधु इति अस्माभिः निर्णयः दृष्टः। खच् प्रत्ययविशिष्टम् एकम् अङ्गकार्यम् अपि सूत्रपाठे पाठितम् अस्ति। खचिर्ह्रस्वः इत्यनेन णिजन्तस्य उपधायाः ह्रस्वादेशः भवति। यत्र यत्र खच् प्रत्ययः णिजन्तधातोः विधीयते तत्र सर्वत्र अणेरनीति इत्यनेन णिच् प्रत्ययस्य लोपे कृते उपधायां यः स्वरः विद्यते सर्वत्र त्रिषु अपि उदाहरणेषु अकारः एव दृश्यते तस्य आकारः एव दृश्यते तस्य ह्रस्वादेशे कृते अकारः सिद्ध्यति। तदनन्तरं प्रथमं सूत्रं प्रियवशे वदः खच् इति विस्तारेण दृष्टम्। प्रिय तथा वश इत्येतयोः कर्मणोः उपपदयोः वदधातोः खच इति प्रत्ययः भवति। प्रियं वदति इति प्रियं वदः, वशं वदति इति वशं वदः इति अस्य उदाहरणानि। अस्मिन् सूत्रे बहूनि वार्तिकानि आचार्येण पाठितानि सन्ति। ततः प्रथमं वार्तिकं खच् प्रकरणे गमेः सुपि उपसंख्यानं। खच् इत्यस्य प्रत्ययस्य विधानस्य यानि सूत्राणि सन्ति तत्र गम इति धातुः अपि स्वीकर्तव्यः। सुबन्ते उपपदे संज्ञा भिन्न विधानार्थं शब्दानां निर्माणार्थं गमधातोः खच इति प्रत्ययः भवति। मितं गच्छति इति मितङ्गमः हस्ति इति अत्र उदाहरणम्। अग्रिमं वार्तिकं खच् च डिद् वा वक्तव्यः। गमधातोः विहितः खच् इति प्रत्ययः कुत्रचित् डित् भवति। भुजं गच्छति वक्रं गच्छति इति अर्थः। भुजं गच्छति इति भुजङ्गः प्रत्ययस्य डित्वात् टिलोपः भवति। अम इति अन्ते विद्यमानं तस्य लोपः भवति। अपि च प्रत्ययस्य खित्वात् मुमागमः अपि जायते। गमधातोः ड इति प्रत्ययः अपि विधीयते। अग्रे वक्ष्यमाणेन अन्तात्यन्ताध्वदूरपार सर्वानन्ते षुडः इति सूत्रेण अग्रिमवर्गे पश्यामः। अनेन सूत्रेण ड प्रत्यये कृते भुजं गच्छति इति भुजगः इति अपि रूपं सिद्ध्यति। तदपि अस्माभिः दृष्टम्। अनेन प्रकारेण भुजङ्गम, भुजङ्ग तथा च भुजग इति त्रीणि रूपाणि भवितुम् अर्हन्ति। विहायस् इति शब्दः यत्र उपपदरूपेण विद्यते तत्र पुनः वार्तिकद्वयं वा काशिकायां पाठितमस्ति। विहायसः विह च डे च विहायसः विह आदेशः वक्तव्यः। विहायस् इत्युक्ते व्योम स्काय। विहायस् शब्दस्य उपस्थितौ गम धातोः खच प्रत्ययः अपि भवति, ड प्रत्ययः अपि भवति। एतेषु प्रत्यय एतेषु प्रत्ययेषु परेषु विहायस शब्दस्य विह आदेशः भवति। विहायसा गच्छति, goes by the road of sky, basically flies, इति विहङ्गमः, विहङ्गः, विहगः. Similar to bhujangamah, bhujangaha, bhujagaha, we have these three words. So that's basically what we studied in the yesterday's class. Going back to the sheet, there is the first sutra, priyavashe vada khach over here. Atra प्रियवशे वद खच इति सूत्रम् अस्माभिः ह्यस्तनवर्गे अधीतम्. तदनन्तरम् अद्य अग्रे गच्छामः. द्विषत्परयोस्तापेः वाच्यमो व्रते and so on. We will see these sutras. Today we won't be able to cover this entire section. Yesterday I mentioned that I wanted to cover the entire section, but there is too much of the material and I don't want to rush again, put everything in one class. So अद्य किं कुर्मः? अत्र द्विषत्परयोः तापेः वाच्यमो व्रते पूसर्वयोः दारिसहोः सर्वकूलाभ्रकरीशेषु कषः मेघर्ति भयेषु कुर्यः. एतान्येव सूत्राणि अद्यतनवर्गे पश्यामः. अग्रिमवर्गे क्षेमप्रियमद्रेञ्च इत्यस्मात् अग्रे अध्ययनम् अनुवर्तिष्यते. अतः अद्य अधीयमानं प्रथमं सूत्रं द्विषत्परयोः तापेः इत्यत्र अत्र तापी इति निजन्तः धातुः अस्ति. वदधातोः विषये तु खच इत्यस्य स्थाने खश इति प्रत्ययः क्रियते चेदपि न दोषः. तत्र खचिरस्वः इत्यस्य न किञ्चन कार्यं, परन्तु इदानीम् अग्रे तापी इति धातुः निजन्तः धातुः अस्ति. अत्र अस्मात् निजन्तात् धातोः खच इति प्रत्ययः भवति. So the next sutra that we want to talk is द्विषत् परयोः तापेः. द्विषत् परयोः. So two words are there, द्विषत् and para. द्विषत् परयोः कर्मणोः उपपदयोः तापेः धातोः अत्र तापी इति णिजन्तः निर्देशः. तापेः धातोः खच इति प्रत्ययः भवति. तप दाहे चुरादिः, तप संतापे भ्वादिः द्वयोः अपि ग्रहणं. द्विषन्तं तापयति इति द्विषन्तपः, परं तापयति अन्यान् तापयति इत्यर्थः इति परन्तपः. कौमुदीमपि पश्यामः. खच स्यात्. There is one line in the description in Kaumudi, खच स्यात्. So this is Sutra 2954 द्विषत् परयोः तापेः. The description in Kaumudi is like one line, खच स्यात्. अग्रे खचिर्हस्वः इत्यत्र अग्रिमं विधानं कौमुदिकारेण कृतमस्ति. तत्र खचिर्हस्वः इति सूत्रं सः स्पष्टीकरोति. खच परेणौ उपधायाः ह्रस्वः स्यात्. So he explains the khachirhasva sutra at that point in time, and then he comes back to dvishat parayoho tapehe there and gives the complete statement. Dvishantam param va tapayati iti dvishantapaha parantapaha. So we have the prakriya on the right side of the screen. So we have dvishantam tapayati iti dvishat plus tapi plus khacha. So I have omitted a few steps. It should actually start with dvishantam and then the vibhakti lopa should happen and so on. But I have basically I wanted to fit the prakriya in this square, so I have omitted a few unnecessary steps that are not in the current focus. So dvishat tapi plus khacha iti pratyayah. Khacha pratyasya a iti bhavati. Tapi ityasya nera niti ityanena tap. Tadanantaram tap ityasya तप इति परिवर्तनम खचिरस्वः इत्यनेन ह्रस्वादेशः. So this is an important point. Here खचिरस्वः इत्यनेन ताप इत्यस्य तप इति परिवर्तनं भवति. We saw this prakriya in the yesterday's class also. The sutra we are learning today. And then rest of the stuff is all well known to us. मुमागमः भवति, संयुगान्तस्य लोपः, मोनुस्वारः and so on. अनेन प्रकारेण द्विषन्तप, similarly परन्तप. द्विषन्तं, द्विषत् इति शब्दः द्विषन्तं तापयति इति द्विषन्तमः, द्विषन्तपः परं तापयति इति परन्तपः इति अत्र शब्दद्वयं सिद्ध्यति. Now in this context of द्विषत् परयोः तापेः, there is something very interesting point that commentaries talk about. And what is more beautiful over here is that Kashika tries to explain that point in a completely different way, and Kaumudi tries to explain that point in a completely different way. This is a classic example where the commentators themselves differ in explaining a certain behavior. So let's talk about that point. Let's take some time, go slowly, talk about this point, and then we'll come back to this dvishat parayoho tapehe. So we want to talk about this particular thing called linga vishishta paribhasha, which we have already seen earlier in the class where we were talking about ghata, ghati, and so on. So प्रातिपदिक ग्रहणे लिंग विशिष्टस्यापि ग्रहणम, वेरी वेल नोन परिभाषा. प्रातिपदिक ग्रहणे लिंग विशिष्टस्यापि ग्रहणम, 72nd परिभाषा इन परिभाषेन्दु शेखर. कस्मिंश्चित् सूत्रे प्रयुक्तं प्रातिपदिकं पुल्लिंग निर्देशं कृत्वा प्रयुक्तम् अस्ति चेदपि तस्य प्रातिपदिकस्य स्त्री प्रत्ययान्त रूपम् अपि तस्मिन्नेव संदर्भे प्रयोक्तुं शक्यते. Let's understand this once again. If a certain pratipadika in a sutra has been given using a pullinga nirdesha, which is pretty common because most of the pratipadikas will be given using the pullinga nirdesha. If a certain pratipadika is given using a pullinga nirdesha in a sutra, the feminine form of that particular pratipadikam will also be applicable in the same context. One example that we have already studied, लोहितादिडाज्भ्यक्यश इत्यनेन लोहित शब्दात् क्यश इति प्रत्ययः पाठ्यते. अयं क्यश प्रत्ययः यथा लोहित शब्दात् भवति तथैव लोहित शब्दस्य फेमिनाइन फॉर्म लोहिनी इत्यस्मात् अपि विधीयते. Another example, there is a sutra in the Shratva Prakaranam or Visargasya Adesha Yatra Bhavati Sakaradesha Shakaradesha. In that particular context, there is this sutram Atah Kru Kamikam Sakumbha Patra Kusha Karnishu Anavyayasya iti sutram tasmin sandarbhe pathyate. Anena sutrena Visargasya Sakaradesha Uktaha asti. कुत्र उक्तः अस्ति? कुंभ इति शब्दः यत्र विद्यते. सो अयः कुंभ इति कॉन्फिगरेशन यत्र विद्यते तत्र विसर्गस्य सकारादेशे कृते अयस्कुंभ इति सिद्ध्यति. इदानीम् अत्र कुंभ शब्देन कुंभी इति फेमिनाइन फॉर्म इत्यस्यापि ग्रहणं भवति. अतः अयः प्लस कुंभी अयस्कुंभी इति अपि अत्र भवितुम् अर्हति. So a word indicated in a masculine gender in the pullinga will also represent the corresponding feminine word. This is a general paribhasha pratipadika grahane linga vishishtasyapi grahanam. Now if we try to apply this paribhasha in the current context, what will happen? We will say, so द्विषत् परयोः तापेः इत्यनेन सूत्रेण यत्र द्विषत् इति उपपदमस्ति तदा खच इति प्रत्ययः पाठ्यते. अनेन द्विषत् शब्देन तस्य फेमिनाइन फॉर्म द्विषती इति शब्दस्यापि ग्रहणं भवेत्. So what is the point that we are saying? Because we have linga vishishta paribhasha, the sutram has the word dvishatta in it. This dvishatta will also take into account or will also represent the feminine form called dvishati, and therefore dvishatim tapayati iti dvishatim tapaha iti rupam bhavet. Katham dvishatim tapaha? Dvishantam tapayati is dvishantapaha, and dvishatim tapayati is the feminine form will be dvishati, and then you add a mumagama on the top of it. Before adding mumagama, you do a raswadesha. So dvishatin tapaha, dvishan tapaha, and dvishatin tapaha ityanena prakarena atra dvishati shabdasya api grahanam bhavet. That will result in an incorrect form dvishatin tapaha. The correct form that we have is dvishati tapaha. Ishta prayogaha tu dvishati tapaha iti anapratyayantah asti. So what is happening? There is this linga vishishta paribhasha which says that a masculine form called dvishat will also include the feminine form called dvishati. And now if you decide to apply that particular paribhasha over here, dvishati plus tapi plus khacha will give an anishta form Ideally, it should be dvishati tapaha with an ana pratyayanta. That's the word in the bhasha, and somehow we have to justify it. We have the vyakarana is for justifying the prayogas, therefore we have to justify this prayoga. Now, the way Kashika tries to justify this and way the Kaumudi tries to justify this are completely different. Let's take a look at what Kashika says. Kashika says, and look at this is a very novel idea. Kashika says, Dvishat parayoho iti dvitakarakaha nirdeshaha. Understand this carefully. Kashika is saying that in this sutra, Dvishat parayoho, the ta that you hear in that sutra is actually a double takara. Dvishat ta and para. There is a double takara and there is a para. Dvishat parayoho iti dvitakarakaha nirdeshaha. The immediate question that we get is, if it is a dvitakarakaha nirdeshaha, why don't we hear the second takara? Why do we just say dvishat with a single takara? The answer is the second takara can go away by sanyogantasya lopaha. You have double takara, it is a pada. Dvishat itself is a separate pada, para itself is a separate pada. So dvishat ityatra संयोगान्तस्य लोपः इत्यनेन डबल तकारः अस्ति, एकः तकारः तत्र तस्य लोपः भवति, द्विषत् will remain, and then you hear that in that particular sutra. So द्विषत् परयोस्तापेः इत्यत्र द्विषत् परयोः इति द्वितकारकः निर्देशः. What is that indicating? The first takara is the part of dvishat itself. So you have dvishat. The second takara says dvishat iti takaranta shabdaha. So what the double takara is saying? Let's actually look at the nyasa. It explains this in correct way. Dvishat parayoho iti nirdeshe dvau takarau. You have a double takara. One of them is going because of sanyoganta silopa. So you don't hear it while speaking the sutram, but there are two takaras. Dvishat parayoho iti nirdeshe dvau takarau. Tatra ekaha dvishat shabdasya avayavaha. The first of the two takaras is actually part of dvishat itself. It's the takara that makes the word dvishat as dvishat. So tatra ekaha dvishat shabdasya avayavaha. Tena dvishat shabdaha vishishyate. So that dvishat word is being characterized by the second takara. The second takara says a dvishat word which is a takaranta. Dvishat shabde upapade takarante iti. Yatra takaranta dvishat shabdaha asti. Tatraiva asya sutrasya prasaktihi asti. See how beautifully he added an additional takara without even changing the sutra, and then made that second takara means something else. So तेन द्विषट् शब्दः विशिष्यते द्विषट् शब्दे उपपदे तकारान्ते. So द्विषत् त परयोः. This whole thing would mean takaranta dvishat shabda and the para shabda. These two things then will cause the tapi dhatu to get the khacha pratyaya. Now the whole problem is solved, because even if the linga vishishta paribhasha is taken, dvishat will become dvishati, and at dvishati it is not takaranta anymore. There is a stri pratyaya sitting at the end. So tena striyam na bhavati, stri pratyayanta takarantah na bhavati. Dvishati is a stri pratyayanta word, it is not a takaranta word. So he says tena striyam na bhavati. This line in Kashika is being explained. Tena striyam na bhavati, stri pratyayantah takarantah na bhavati, asati tu dvitiye takare. If you do not employ this trick of shlesha, and if you do not add this another takara over there, asati tu dvitiye takare, what would be the problem? प्रातिपदिक ग्रहणे लिंग विशिष्टस्यापि ग्रहणं भवति इत्यनेन स्त्रियाम् अपि इत्युक्ते द्विषती शब्दस्य विषये अपि खच् एव प्रत्यये कृते अनिष्टं रूपं भवेत्. So he takes the paribhasha pratipadika linga grahane vishistasyapi grahan pratipadika grahane linga vishistasyapi grahanam, and he says, I have this paribhasha is creating a problem. The way to solve this problem is to do a shlesha, introduction of a smart way, an introduction of extra takara over there to make it dvishat parayoho. What happens to these two takaras? Why don't you hear them when the sutra is pronounced? Because there is a sanyoganta silopa which is acting and one of the takara is anyway going away. So you have dvishat. The first takara is a part of the dvishat word. The second takara is used to qualify that dvishat. Kidrishaha dvishat takaramta dvishat shabdaha iti ukte tatra स्त्री प्रत्यय, इट्स रिटन ओवर हियर, स्त्री प्रत्ययान्तस्य विषये द्विषति इति क्रियते चेत् सः तकारान्त शब्दः नास्ति, अतः अत्र अस्य सूत्रस्य प्रसक्तिः नास्ति. वेरी ब्यूटिफुल आर्ग्युमेंट. Kaumudi takes a completely different call on this. Kaumudi says Pratipatika grahane linga vishistasyapi grahanam, this paribhasha is actually anitya. What is anitya? Sometimes once a while the paribhasha will not be applicable. So Kaumudi does not do a shlesha of takara over there. Kaumudi adds another dimension to the paribhasha pratipatika grahane linga vishistasyapi grahanam, and Kaumudi says this particular paribhasha is anitya. Ghata ghati grahanat linga vishishta paribhasha anitya. We have already seen this particular vartikam in harate ranudyamane cha. हरतेरनुद्यमने च इत्यत्र अच् प्रकरणे शक्तिलाङ्गलाङ्कुश यष्टितोबर घट घटि धनुषु ग्रहेः उपसंख्यानम् इत्यत्र घट तथा घटी इति शब्दद्वयं पृथग् रूपेण पाठितम् अस्ति. Why do you need two words over there? If ghata is already there and linga vishishta paribhasha is there, why have an extra effort of adding ghati? So अस्मिन् सूत्रे अस्मिन् वार्तिके घट शब्देन सह घटी शब्दस्य पृथक् निर्देशः प्रातिपदिकग्रहणे लिङ्गविशिष्टस्यापि ग्रहणम् अस्याः परिभाषायाः अनित्यत्वं ज्ञापयति. The presence of ghata and ghati as separate entities in this particular vartikam is a jnapaka of the anityatva of pratipatika grahane linga vishistasyapi grahanam. Today there is a question in the homework. What is the jnapaka of anityatva of pratipatika grahane linga vishistasyapi grahanam? This particular vartika, and not the whole vartika, but the distinct reference to ghata and ghati in this vartika is the jnapaka of pratipatika grahane linga vishistasyapi grahanam. And therefore we have a license, we in the sense not us, the shishtas, the experts, the scholars, those who want to justify a certain prayoga, they have a license of not applying this paribhasha at some place where the prayoga requires the absence of this paribhasha. So ataeva dvishantam tapayati ityatra यद्यपि खच इति प्रत्ययः भवति तथापि द्विषतीं तापयति इत्यत्र खच प्रत्ययः नैव भवति. So द्विषतीं तापयति, in this particular case the linga vishishta paribhasha will not kick in. Now is the dvishati word present in the sutra? No, the sutra has the word dvishatta, and because the linga paribhasha vishishta paribhasha is not coming up, dvishata is not representing dvishati, and therefore atra औत्सर्गिकः अण प्रत्ययः भवति. If you don't find any pratyaya, fall back to कर्मण्यण. So अत्र औत्सर्गिकः अण प्रत्ययः भवति. अण प्रत्ययं कृत्वा द्विषति तापः इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति. This aspect has also been discussed in Paribhashendu Shekhara in the Paribhasha Pratipadika Grahane Linga Vishishtasyapi Grahanam. So Pratipadika Grahane Linga Vishishtasyapi Grahanam ityatra नागेशेन सर्वप्रथमम् इयं परिभाषा पाठिता अस्ति. अस्याः परिभाषायाः अर्थः, अस्याः परिभाषायाः ज्ञापकम्, अस्याः परिभाषायाः प्रयोगः कुत्र भवति इति सर्वम् उक्त्वा तदनन्तरम् आहत्य सप्तस्थलेषु इयं परिभाषा anittya asti iti tatra nageshena pratipaditam asti. So in the bhashya of Nyap Pratipadikat, there are these various points listed where this Linga Vishishta Paribhasha is anitya. One of them is in case of Upapadas. So the exact sentence that Nagesha uses is that iyam ityukte, this Linga Vishishta Paribhasha kutra anitya asti dvishat parayoho ityadi upapada vidhau na pravartate. Exact this sutra has been quoted by Nagesha in Paribhasha Indushekara. Not any random sutra. Write this sutra over here. Dvishat parayoho ityadi upapada vidhau yam paribhasha na pravartate iti ज्ञाप सूत्रे भाष्ये स्पष्टम इति नागेशः प्रातिपदिकग्रहणे लिङ्गविशिष्टस्यापि ग्रहणम् इत्यत्र ब्रूते. So Kashika and Kaumudi have two different takes on this. Basically, it's a way to justify, it's a way to tweak the grammar to justify the existing prayogas. The reason I spent significant time in explaining the approach taken by Kashika is it's one of the novel approaches. We see this approach very rarely used. So, for example, in most of you, or all of you should know that in Naj Jalo, Dikshita does a similar shlesha akarasya. So na a ach jhalo is how he breaks it up. So these small things, this is one of actually a very common mechanism of breaking the sutra by adding an additional harmless entity. These things are done so that a desired meaning can pop out from the sutram, and this dvishat parayoho tapehe is one such situation where Kashika has done an slesha of additional takara. On the other hand, Kaumudi has resorted to the anityatva of the pratipadika grahane linga vishishtasyapi grahanam. There is one question, let me take it and then we'll go ahead. How can khachir hasva do the rasvadesha of dvishati? I think that's on the previous one. Oh, I think you're okay. So your question was, is it Khachir Haswa who does the Raswadesha? No, Khachir Haswa is not the one that's doing the Raswadesha. I understand what the confusion is. So I think Khachir Haswa has nothing to do with doing the Raswadesha of the Dvishati. So if you go to the 6367 Sutram, this is in the Uttarapadadhikara. Just before the 6367, the 6366 Khityanavya, this one, Khityanavyayasya. This is the Khityanavyayasya Sutram which is doing the Rasvadesha of Dvishati. So there are actually two Rasvadeshas going on. Now I understand the confusion. There are two Rasvadeshas going on over here. There is a first Rasvadesha which is Dvishati becoming Dvishati. That is the Uttarapadadhikara Karyam which is happening by Khityanavyayasya. The second Rasvadesha is Tapa becoming Tapa, which is because of Khachir Haswaha, which is Angakaryam. Khidante Uttarapade Anavyayasya Raswaha Bhavati. So this is the sutra that gives the Raswadesha for Dvishati. Anyway, just to make it clear, we are all talking about incorrect prayoga. So there is an incorrect prayoga called Dvishati, Dvishatin Tapaha. We are trying to tell how that incorrect prayoga can come up. The correct prayoga is not Dvishatim Tapa. So all this discussion that I'm doing just now, Khityanavyaس and all that is all hypothetical. The correct prayoga is Dvishati Tapaha. Dvishati Tapaha ityatra An Pratyayaha eva asti. Tatra Khach Pratyaha naiva vidhiyate. Okay, there is one more question. So how is Sanyogantasya Lopaha happening over here? See this, the question is, how is Sanyogantasya? I think if I understand the question correctly, the question says, how is the Sanyogantasya Lopaha happening over here? The Sanyogantasya Lopaha, see the whole pada is Dvishatta. So it is a pada, Sanyogantam yat padam. So Dvishatta, and then there is a ma coming in between. So at the end of the pada, there is a Sanyoga, ma plus ta. And then ta occurs at the end of the Sanyoga, and therefore Sanyogantasya Lopaha will get it away. So just like the way Dvishati is a separate pada, here it was Dvishat is a separate pada. The Sanyoga is ma plus ta, and ta is going away because of the Sanyoga Dasya. Okay, I think these are all the questions. Let's go ahead. So this is basically discussion about Dvishatparayoho tapehe. Kashika and Kaumudi have different views on this particular aspect. Let's go to the next sutra. Let's go back to the list of sutras and see where we are. We completed Dvishatparayoho tapehe. The next one is Vachiyamo vrate. I think Vak shabde कर्मणि उपपदे यमेः धातोः, clearly written in the sutra, yama dhatu. वाक् शब्दे कर्मणि उपपदे यमेः धातोः खच इति प्रत्ययः भवति. I'll fix this. खच इति प्रत्ययः भवति व्रते गम्यमाने. कः अर्थः? वाच इति अत्र प्रातिपदिकं. वाक् शब्द इत्युक्ते वाक् इति प्रथमैकवचनं, वाच इति प्रातिपदिकं, वाणी, स्पीच, टु टाक् इति अर्थः. the talking iti artha. So vak shabde karmani upapade yamehe dhatoho. Yama uparame means to resist, to keep under control, to have a controlled speech basically. So yama is basically to have a control. Niyama, yama, these are well known words. And then control of what? Control over your vani, control over your vak, control over speaking. So वाक् शब्दे कर्मणि उपपदे यमेः धातोः खच् प्रत्ययः भवति. कदा खच् प्रत्ययः भवति? व्रते गम्यमाने. Somebody is restricting his speaking. Somebody is having a mauna because of a certain ritual, certain vrata, certain say rule, dharma karya, and so on. So he's following a certain ritual, and a part of that ritual, he decides to stay quiet or decides to have a control over his speaking. वाक् शब्दे कर्मणि उपपदे यमेः धातोः खच प्रत्ययः भवति व्रते गम्यमाने. किं नाम व्रतम्? व्रत इति शास्त्रितः नियमः उच्यते. नियमः can also mean rule. Niyamah can also mean the yama niyamas, the restrictions, or you certain control, resistance that you do, imposed by the shastra, imposed by certain rituals, certain vrata that you are doing. Vrata iti shastritah niyamah uchyate. Katham prayogaha? Vacham yamaha aste. So the vigraha vakya will be Vacham yachati. Yama iti dhatuhu, yachati iti tatra rupam bhavati. Vacham yachati iti vacham yamaha. Aste means sits or is there. So vacham yamaha aste. I'll explain the prakriya of this vacham yamaha word in a minute. Let's actually read the vyakhyana which is present over here, and then I'll come to this word vacham yama again. So vacham yamaha aste. Vrate iti kim? If somebody has kept quiet for some other reason, say he has a disease of mouth, or he has a problem with the vocal cord, or he himself is a shy, his nature is to be shy and not speak at all. So if because of any of these things the person has decided to keep quiet, then we don't call him vacham yamaha. We use a normal ana pratyaya. Always remember, ana is a fallback. So vak, so vach plus yama plus ana उपधा वृद्धिं कृत्वा वाग्यामः इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति. So वाचं यमः इति किं? वाग्यामः. Explained by Padamanjari. Vagyam iti yaha ashaktyaadina vacham yachati. He is keeping his speaking under control, probably because he does not have energy to speak, or because he has a problem in the vocal cord, or because he is shy. Could be any other reasons. The only reason that the sutra allows for khacha pratyaya is vrate. If the speech is kept under control because of a certain ritual, then we use vacham yamaha. In all other cases, the word that is generated is vagyamaha. Vagyamaha iti yaha yaha ashakti adinam shakti nasti atra ashakti adina vacham yachati tatra अण प्रत्ययः कर्मण्यण इत्यनेन सूत्रेण अण इति प्रत्ययः एव भवति. वाक् शब्दे उपपदे यमेः खच स्याद् व्रते गम्ये. The vritti is vacham yachati. It's written over here. Vacham yachati. I also have the prakriya on the right side of the screen. Vacham yachati iti vratam asya. You may or may not write the vratam asya part in your vritti, but it should be implied. So it's better to write and make it clear. Vacham yachhati iti vratam asya prakriyam pashyamah. Kinchit visheshah atra prakriyayam asti. Vacham plus yama plus khacha. You get a khacha pratyaya. Khacha becomes a. Atra vacham ityatra upapada samasah bhavati, vibhakti lopah bhavati, and so on. These are not the points of interest, so I combined all of them in a single line. Vach plus yama plus a is the configuration. Itsamnya lopa, upapada samasa, vibhakti lopa, and so on will automatically happen in the due course, eventually giving us vach plus yama plus a. At this point in time, amagama happens mysteriously. Is an agama which comes over there. How does that amagama come? There is a sutram in Uttarapadadhikara 6.3. Vacham yamapurandarau cha iti sutrena amagamaha nipatyate. Understand this. In case of Dvishat or in the previous situations, there was a mumagama which was given by the sutra itself. Arur dvishadajantasya muma ityanena sutrena mumagamaha tatra uktaha asit. Idanim amma iti agamaha parantu amagama vidhayakam vishishtam sutram atra nasti. Tarhi kim kriyate paninina? वाचम्यम पुरंदरौ च इति वाचम्यम इति शब्दः एव तादृशः दीयते. This is a nipatana. He gives two words ready-made. He says, take these words freely. Vachamyama is one word and purandara is another word. Vachamyama is constructed using an amagama, and therefore just by the virtue of existence of the sutra Vachamyama purandarau cha, that's what we call nipatana. Asya sutrasya vidhana samarthyat atra ama iti amagamaha nipatyate. Vach plus ama, and then the normal prakriya will happen. Vacham yama. So vacham yama iti shabdaha katham siddhyati? Tatra mumagamaha nasti. You cannot have the mumagama. There is a ready-made word given called Vacham Yama Purandaraucha. This is a sutram. That sutram gives or is expected, or we interpret that sutram by saying that it gives amma iti agamaha ityanena Vacham Yama iti shabdaha siddhyati. Let's take a quick look at this sutram Vacham Yama Purandaraucha. This comes in 6.3, which is Aluguttarapada Adhikara. So it comes in the Uttarapada Adhikara. In Kaumudi, it comes immediately later. So look at the Kaumudi sequence. He is 2956 Vachi Yamo Vrate, and this 2957 is Vacham Yama Purandaraucha. So atra asya sutrasya artham pashyamaha. Vacham Yama Purandara ityetau nipatyete. Given free of cost. Vacham yama aste. So now he's explaining how to use this word Vacham yama aste. And then the second word Puram darayati iti purandaraha. Puram darayati iti purandaraha. We will see this word in the immediately next sutra in 1 minute. Let's actually look at what the Kaumudi says at of Vacham yama purandaraucha. Vak puroho amantatvam nipatyate. So the agama, the nipatana of that agama, where is it happening? Vacham yama ityatra vak iti shabdaha asti chet amagamaha nipatyate. Purandara ityatra pur iti shabdaha asti chet tatra punah amagama nipatyate. Vacham yamo mauna vrati. He explains this. What is the meaning of the word vacham yama? Mauna vrati. Mauna is not sufficient. Mauna vrata should be there. Vacham yama mauna vrati. Vrate kim ashaktyadina vacham yachati iti vagyamaha. If the somebody is ashakta or not able to speak, is just the normal anapratyaya vagyamaha. Now there is one obvious question that will come. Actually, two obvious questions that one may come over here. One is superficial and one is even more bigger level. So basically, here we are saying iti agamah bhavati. Parant look at how the language of Kaumudi is actually very precise over here. He says vak puroho amantatvam nipatyate. The vach word, it gets converted into an amanta word. What it means amagama comes. So it's the same way, but he purposely avoids the word amagama, because as soon as you say amagama, a question might come that why midachontyat paraha is not being applied. The answer is because of the vidhana samarthya, because of the prayoga samarthya, we don't apply midachontyat paraha. We just add amagama. Or you don't, if you are not comfortable with that logic, don't say amagama. You just say vacha ityasya sthane vacha plus am iti bhavati. Whether you say one way or the other, eventually you have to derive the final form. So vach plus ama ityatra ama iti agamah nipatyate, no chet vacha ityasya sthane amantatvam nipatyate. Either way one can write this. Now there is a question over here. Vacham yachati, doesn't yachati mean to give? That's a question somebody is asking. So yachati itself has two different verbs. There is a dana dhatu, da yachati. So there is a dana dhatu in the prathama gana. This dhatu tasya latlakarasya rupam yachati iti bhavati. That's a different dhatu. The dhatu that we are talking over here is yama dhatu. Yama also becomes yachati. So we know, I mean, multiple dhatus can mean the same, can give the same form. So vacham yachati ityatra dadati ityapi arthaha bhavitum arhati. Parantu atra saha arthaha nasti. Two different dhatus. There is a da dhatu, not the well-known juhotyadigana da dhatu. That becomes dadati. There is a dana dhatu separately in the bhadigana, which becomes yachati again. So da yacha ityatra yachati bhavati. There is another yama dhatu which also becomes yachati. So in this particular context, dadati iti arthaha nasti, niyamyati iti arthaha asti. So yachati iti atra artha vidhanam kriyate. Vacham yachati iti vacham yamaha. There are a few more questions. Give me 1 minute. Let me actually oh, there is a very nice observation by somebody. Right. So I missed this point. Very good observation. So there is a comment which says this ama is not myth at all, and I completely missed that point earlier while discussing. So this agama ama is not myth agama at all. So midachontyat paraha is not at all in the picture, because midachontyat paraha is only for the myth agamas. Is not a myth agama. It's basically a simple agama that comes and sits over at the end, and vacha plus ama, you just combine. So vacham, this ma then becomes anuswara, and then it becomes vacham. So yes, the midachontyat paraha is not applicable because this is not a myth agama. The argument, essentially, the end of the day, we have to understand that this is a nipatana, and once this is a nipatana, all bets are off. Panini says that there is a word called vachamyama, and therefore we put the word vachamyama over here, and whatever is needed for generating that word we add. So ama iti atra agamah syat uta tatra vach ityasya sthane amantatvam nipatyate iti vadamaha. Whatever we can talk, it's eventually ama which comes and sits after vacha. Okay, a few more questions. Let me just take a look. Okay, I think there are repeated set of questions. I have answered most of them. However, there is a very fundamental question. I was expecting somebody to ask this. I mean, all these are, superficial questions that people have been asking. There is a very fundamental question that nobody actually asked. And this question should come in your mind when we discuss about this sutra. And the question is as follows. There is this sutra, Vacham Yama Purandarau. Vacham Yama Purandaru ittenena kimuchyate? Vacham Yama iti shabdaha nipatyate. Purandara iti shabdaha nipatyate. So look at what Kashika says. Vacham Yama iti nipatyate. Purandara iti nipatyate. Kaha arthaha? The two words Vacham Yama and Purandara have been ready-made given to us. Now, if these two words have been ready-made given to us, what is the point in having the sutram vachi yamo vrate at the first place? Why do you even say that in presence of vacha upapada, there is a yama dhatu and a khacha pratyaya will added and a mysterious ama should come over there, and therefore let's resort to vacham yama purandara? Who has asked us to do all this circus? Anyway, you are specifying vacham yama purandara, so anyway, the word is there, ready-made given to you, Vachamyama and Purandara. Why have the trouble of defining a separate sutram called Vachi Yamo Vrate? Is the question. And it's a very valid question that we already have the word. There is no point in defining the sutram. I'm going to park this question over here and I'll come to this question in 5 minutes. Why I'm going to park this question? Because before we talk about the answer to that question, there is this second word in this sutra, Vacham Yama and Purandara. Let's take a look at this Purandara word. Ironically, we have this Vachi Yamo Vrate 3 to 40 in the sequence. We have Dushatparayo Tapehe, Vachi Yamo Vrate. The immediately next sutram, Pu Sarvayor Dari Saho. That sutram gives this word Purandara. So this Vacham Yamo Purandaraucha Sutram is actually giving the Nipatana of two words where we have two distinct sutras in Ashtadhyayi. There is Vachi Yamo Vrate, which is giving Vacham Yama, and there is Pusarvayor Dari Sahoho, which is giving Purandara. And in both these sutras, that middle Vacham Yama Purandara Ucha Sutra is used to introduce that additional Amma, Agama. So, Pusarvayoho Dari Sahoho ityatra pu pur means nagari, pur iti tatra upapadam. So that's one upapada, and sarva iti another upapada. So pur and sarva, we have two upapadas, and then we have two different dhatus. Dari, again the nijanta dhatu is there, and sah. So one-to-one mapping happens. Pu gets mapped to dari, and sarva get mapped to sah. We will keep server and saha aside for now. We will talk about that part a little bit later. Let's concentrate on this pu and dari because that's what is giving us purandara. So dhru vidarane, to destroy. Dhru vidarane plus nica ityasmat pura upapadasya upasthitau khach iti pratyayah bhavati. Let's take a look at the prakriya. असुराणाम पुरम धारयति. पुरम इज नगरी. कस्य नगरी? असुराणाम नगरी. असुराणाम पुरम धारयति इति पुरम प्लस दारी प्लस खच. Same prakriya as the earlier one. First, there will be neraniti followed by khachirhasvaha. At this point in time, you have pura plus dara plus a. Again, that amagama will come. So you have pura plus ama plus dara plus a. How does that amagama magically come? Vacham yama purandarau iti atra amagamaha bhavati. Pura plus am plus dara plus a वाचम यम पुरंदरौ च इति अमागमः निपात्यते पुरंदर इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति. पुनरेकवारम् अम इत्यस्य विधानार्थं वाचम यम पुरंदरौ च इति सूत्रस्य साहाय्यम् आवश्यकम्. So see, coming back to the original question. So basically, by the way, this completes the discussion of this derivation of Purandara. It's identical to Vacham Yama with a few sutras here and there. But the central question that we started with still remains, that we have a Vacham Yama Purandara Uchaiti Sutram. The question is, anyway, you are getting these two particular words ready-made. Why have the effort of having two more sutras, Vachi Amo Vrate and Pu Sarvayor Dari Saho? And that's exactly the question that has been asked in Padamanjari. Tarhi Nipatana Deva Pratyaha Bhavishrati. Anyway, you say Vacham Yama ityatra khacha iti nipatyate, amantatvam api nipatyate. Similarly, Purandarau ityatra khacha nipatyate, अमन्तत्वं निपात्यते, तर्हि निपातनादेव प्रत्ययः भविष्यति. And one objection on that particular argument is the vrate word in the previous sutram. So somebody might put an argument on that or counter question on that and say that vachi yamo vrate says that the khacha pratyaya is to be added only for vrata. If you only have a sutram called Vacham Yama Purandaro, the word Vacham Yama can be used in all sorts of situations, even when there is some problem in the vocal cord and therefore the person is not able to speak properly. But the use of Vacham Yama word is restricted for the Vrata only, and therefore we have a separate sutram Vachi Yamo Vrate to indicate the concept or indicate the restriction of Vrata, and then have Vacham Yama Purandaro to indicate the Amantatva. That is one possible answer. That is one possible way to justify the existence of two sutras. But Padamanjari Kara does not agree to it. He says, is your question related to vrata? Is your counter argument related to vrata? Vratad anyatra tarhi prapnoti? Is it because you have a doubt that that particular vacham yama word will be used in situations other than vrata? Is that why Panini has created a separate sutra called vachi yamo vrate? He says, tarhi tatraiva vratagrahanam karishyate. If that is what you are worried about, let's change the sutram vacham yamo purandarau, and in that sutram add the word vrata. So vacham yamo vrate purandarascha. So vacham yamo vrate, add that vrate word right over here. So Panini could have easily added the word vrate over here, making this sutram as vacham yamo vrate purandarascha, and then you don't need vachi yamo vrate, or even you don't need the pu sarvadari saho, pu sarvayordari saho. You definitely don't need pu, and you definitely don't need dari in this particular sutram. So what Padamanjari tries to claim is that these two sutras, Vachiyamo Vrate and Pu Sarvayor Dari Sahoho. In Pu Sarvayor Dari Sahoho, not the whole sutram, but the Pu component of it and Dari component of it. So that particular two components of this sutram and the entire previous sutram, Vachiyamo Vrate, are both not required, are both useless. You can directly change Vacham Yamo Purandarau cha to have Vrate in that particular sutram, making that sutram Vacham Yamo Vrate Purandarascha, thereby solving all the problems. Is what Padamanjari says. One argument, this has not been discussed in bhashya or in any other places, so I'm just putting one argument which is there in Padamanjari, and then there is another argument which justifies the existence of two sutras written in Nyasa. So I'll just put both the arguments in front of you, and we say that this is basically different views taken by different experts. So they same sutra, same in the sense previous sutra, not this one, Vachyamovrate. In that particular sutra, Nyasakara basically says, he exactly asks the same question. Nanucha pratyayaha api tenaiva nipatanena bhavishyati. So we already have Vachyamema Purandaraucha Nipatanam. Let's do the pratyaya there. Let's do the amantatvam there. Let's do all those things over there. Tatkimanena na etadasti. Yet, so he says that's not sufficient. Why that's not sufficient? Because yachati iti pachadi achivihite ततः वाचो यमः इति षष्ठी समासे कृते वाचं यम इति सिद्ध्यति एवं च सति नित्यम उपपद समासः न स्यात्. What he says over here is that if you just have simple sutra like this vacham yama purandaraucha, then it can mean that first create the word yama, which is already an available word. Yama धातोः पचादिगणस्य आकृतिगणत्वात् अच् प्रत्ययं कृत्वा यच्छति इति यमः इति तत्र yama iti shabdah siddhyati. The one who controls, yachati iti yamaha. Iti yamaha iti shabdah tatra siddhyati. Tasmat agre shashti tatpurusha samasah bhavet. Vachaha yamaha. The one who controls the speech. Vachaha yamaha iti shashti tatpurusha samasam krutva tadanantaram anena sutreణ iti amantatvam nipatyate. Iti agamaha nipatyate. So what he is saying, if you just have the sutra called Vacham Yama, it can also mean a derivation is possible by adding Acha Pratyaya. You add Acha Pratyaya on whom? On the stand alone Yama Dhatu. You don't need the Upapada for adding an Acha Pratyaya. Acha Pratyaya given by Nandigrahi Pachadibhyo Luninyachaha is in the sheet 2. It has nothing to do with the Upapadas. It will just come as it is. So वाचम यम इति सामान्य रूपेण केवलम एकमेव सूत्रम दीयते चेत् तत्र कः अर्थः भवेत्? प्रथमं यम इति अच् प्रत्ययान्त शब्दं कृत्वा वाचः यम इत्यनेन षष्ठी सत्पुरुष समासे कृते वाचम यम इति सिद्ध्यति. But the only acceptable vritti of vacham yama is with a khacha pratyaya, because that gives a nitya samasa. Upapada samasas are nitya samasas. Shashti tatpurusha samasas are not nitya samasas. What is the nitya samasa? A swapada vigraha. What is a nitya samasa? You have a swapada vigraha over there. So vachaha yamaha, vacho yamaha इति षष्ठी समासं कृत्वा वाचम यम इति सिद्ध्यति. परन्तु तादृशः अनित्य समासः भवेत्. एवं च सति nityam upapada samasah na syat. We will have a completely different samasa. We will not have the upapada samasa. We want an upapada samasa, and therefore khach pratyayah eva kartavyah tadartham bhinnam sutram avashyakam api cha tadanantaram nipatanam api kartavyam tadartham cha bhinnam sutram avashyakam. अतः अत्र न्यासकारेण द्वयोः सूत्रयोः आवश्यकता विस्तारेण उक्ता अस्ति. पदमञ्जर्यां तु वाचं यम पुरन्दरौ च इत्यस्य सूत्रस्य किञ्चित् परिवर्तनं कृत्वा वाचं यमो व्रते पुरन्दरश्च इति ब्रूमः इति उक्त्वा द्वयोः अपि सूत्रयोः किं प्रयोजनं? द्वयोः इत्युक्ते वाचि यमो व्रते तथा च पू सर्वदारिस् पू सर्वयोर्दारिसहो इत्यत्र पू तथा दारी इत्येतयोः शब्दयोः किं प्रयोजनम् इति प्रश्नः स्थापितः अस्ति. Two different arguments, and there is no conclusive discussion about this in the Bhashya or any other place. So we just take this as two different arguments by two different scholars. Yeah, so there are, I'm expecting a few questions over there. So somebody is asking, why is Nyasakara forcing an Upapada Samasa? Why is Nyasakara not allowing a Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa? The argument of Nyasakara is that Vachaha Yamaha is not a valid construct, is what he says. If Vachaha Yamaha would have been valid construct, you could have combined them to form Vacho Yamaha, Vacham Yamaha. But Vachaha Yamaha, this kind of Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa is not acceptable, is what he is saying. Therefore, Upapada Samasa is needed. So in most of the cases, the question is again, how do we know that there is no Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa and there is a Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa? Vyakhyanam eva sharanam. So in most of the cases, there will be Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa. So Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa is one of the most generic Samasa. In 99% of the cases, you can justify a prayoga. If a Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa is possible, you can justify a prayoga by that. There are a few exceptions here and there. So for example, in yesterday's class, we saw Purana Guna Suhitartha Sadavvetavya Samanadhikaranena. That's one possible place where Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa does not happen. Or here, for example, from these Vyakhyanas, we see that Vacho Yamaha, such a Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa, is not acceptable by the Vyakhyata. So these are the only places where we can say firmly or strongly, confidently that a Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa is not possible. All other cases, Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa is possible. And please make a note that, am I saying that what Nyasa says is correct? No. Am I saying that what Padamanjari says is correct? No. All that I'm saying is that we have three sutras. There is a Vachiyamo Vrate, there is a Pusarvayoho Darisaho, and there is also Vachamyama Purandaraucha. And a question was asked, why do you need Vachamyama Purandaraucha, or why do you need these two sutras if you have Vachamyama Purandaraucha? And there is one side of the argument explained by Padamanjari, other side of the argument explained by Nyasa. That's all that we say, and we stop here and go ahead. We don't discuss more about which of these is logical and which of this is not logical, at least not here. So somebody is asking, if it is a Shashti Tatpurusha, how can the form be Vacham Yama? Because there is Vacham Yama Purandarau. So whether it is Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa or whether it is Upapada Samasa, Vacham Yama Purandarau will still be there, and that's how Vacham Yama word will be generated. The hair splitting that is being done over here is whether Vacham Yama is generated by Shashti Tatpurusha or whether Vacham Yama is generated by Upapada Samasa. The Nyasakara is saying that Vacham Yama is generated by Upapada Samasa, and that is the reason why Vachi Yamo Vrate Sutra needs to be there. If Vachi Yamo Vrate Sutra happens to get removed, or if it is removed, then Vacham Yama can also be generated using Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa, which is not correct, is what Nyasakara's argument is there. This distinction between Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa versus Upapada Samasa is not being done by Padamanjari. So we can safely assume that Padamanjari Kara believes that Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa might be possible, or he says that all that Nipatana, whether it is a Nipatana of Khacha or whether it is Amantatva or whatever, you add it in Vachamyama Purandaraucha itself. So Vyakhyanam ante sharanameva asti. So you create a sutra Vacham Yama Purandaraucha, and in that sutra says that Yamadhatoho Khach Pratyaha Nipatyate apicha Vach Shabdasya Amantatvam Nipatyate. You say that in Vacham Yama Purandarau is what the argument of Padanjari is, whereas Nyasa is trying to explain the two different sutras and their need. There are a few more questions on this Vacham Yama, but let's actually go ahead, because each of these is, to be honest, one side of the argument. So let's understand these and go ahead without, like, thinking about which is more logical and which is less logical. Okay, Agrimam Sutram. I think there are like two more sutras pending. Let's see if we can cover. Otherwise, next class. So, before that, this Pu Sarvayo Dari Sahoho, on the previous slide, I only explained the Prakriya. We have not seen the commentary at all. So let's actually see the commentary of Pu Sarvayo Dari Sahoho. So Pu Sarvayo Dari Sahoho Ityatra Pura Tatha Sarva इत्येतयोः कर्मणोः उपपदयोः यथा संख्यं दारिसहोः धात्वोः खच प्रत्ययः भवति. So now we have understood the most difficult part. This is simply explaining the sutram. Puram darayati iti purandarah, sarvam sahate iti sarvam sahaha, sarvam sahaha raja iti atra. That nipatana and all that has nothing to do with sarvam saha. Sarvam saha is a normal mumagama is happening over here. Sarva plus saha giving sarvam saha. Purandarayati ityatra vacham yama purandaraucha iti nipatanam tatra avashyakam. Kaumudim pashamah purandarayati purandarah sarvam saha sahigrahanam asamnyartham. Similar thing appeared in the yesterday's class. Remember that there is this sutram which we talked yesterday. Samnyayam bhrutru vrujidhari sahitapidamaha. There is already a saha dhatu over here. This saha dhatu gets a khacha pratyaya, but that is a samnyayam. So therefore, the presence of saha over here is for samnya bhinnaha अर्थः संज्ञा भिन्नः संदर्भः सहि ग्रहणम असंज्ञार्थम. That's what Tattvabodhini is saying. असंज्ञार्थम इति संज्ञायाम तु संज्ञायाम भृतु वृजिदारि सहित पिदमः इत्यनेन इत्यनेन वक्ष्यमाणेन सिद्ध्यति इति भावः. So there is a question how Pura becomes Puhu. That's the Prathama Ekvachan of Puhu. So Ra becomes visarga, and I think halicha, if I'm not mistaken, is what makes a dirghadesha. So that's the typical prathama ekvachan of pura. There is a vartika. Let's take a look at this. Bhage cha darehe iti vaktavyam. So this dari word over here, along with the pu upapada, bhaga, excretory opening, bhaga ityasya shabdasya api atra grahanam bhavati. So there is a disease of the excretory system called bhagandara that has been derived. That word has been derived over here. So bhage cha darehe iti vaktavyam, bhagandaraha iti kaschana roga visheshaha. Kaumudi tries to explain this. Bhagecha darehe iti kashika. He says Kashika Kara gives this Vartika Bhagecha darehe bahulakena labdham ityahu. So we have Krutya Luto Bahulam. Take that Bahulam and bring it over here, and then we can, because of the Bahula Grahana, we can say that Bhaga word can also cause the Dari Dhatu to get the Khacha Pratyaya. We have seen this kind of circus where bahulam word is used wherever we want. Wherever the commentators want, they can use the bahulam word by bringing it from Kritya to bahulam. This is usually done because this particular vartikam does not find a reference in bhashya or any other granthas, and that's why he says bhagecha darehe iti vaktavyam iti kashika. So according to Kashika, this particular vartika is there, but no other reference for this vartika should be found. So if you decide not to follow Kashika, or if you decide not to follow this Vartika, then how will you be able to justify the word Bhagandara? It's by Bahulaka. It's by bringing the word Bahulam from Krutyalito Bahulam over here. So Bahulakena Labdham Ityahu. That's another Paksha. If you decide to take the Vartika Bhagecha Darehi iti Vaktam, you have no issues. But if you say that where is this Vartika? Is it present in Bhashya? Is it justified by other scholars? If it is not anywhere, how can I accept this Vartika? If you are talking about these things, bring the word bahulam, and bahulakena apyatra siddhi bhavati. Bahulakena labdham ityahu bhagam darayati iti bhagandaraha. That's basically completes the discussion of this pu sarvayor dari sahoho. Let's take this one sutra, sarvakulabhrakarisheshu kashaha, and then we will stop. I think there is one more sutram, but it'll take a while. So sarvakulabhrakarisheshu kashaha. Let's see the sequence over here. We have, where did the whole thing go? We have Vachiamo Vrate Pusarvayo Darisaho Sarvakulabhrakarisheshu Kashaha. Kasha Himsayam, to destroy, to tear apart, iti dhatuhu. Kasha Himsayam Asmad dhatoho Khacha iti Pratyaha Bhavati. Kutra Kutra Bhavati Sarva iti Upapadam. Kula Tataha, bank of the river, iti Upapadam. Abhra, cloud, iti Upapadam. Karisha, litter or dust, iti upapadam. So sarvakulabhrakarisheshu kashaha, kasha dhatoho atra khach pratyah bhavati. Sarva kula abhra karisha ityeteshu karmasu upapadeshu kashehe dhatoho khach pratyah bhavati. Sarvam kashati, destroys everything. Sarvam kashati iti sarvam kashaha khalaha, durjanaha, dushtaha iti arthaha. Kulam kashati, a river flows so fast with so much speed that it disrupts the banks and flows in the fields that are next to the bank. So Kulankasha Nadi. Abhrankashaha Girihi. The clouds are flowing, and then there is a mountain. The clouds break these mountains, and then the mountain breaks the clouds, and then the rain happens. So Abhrankashaha Girihi. Karishankasha Vatya. A strong wind, hurricane comes, and then it takes all the litter, it destroys it. Basically, the litter is collected at one place, it destroys it, it tears the whole set apart. Kari Shankasha Vatya. Kaumudyam Sarvankashaha Khalaha Kulankasha Nadi Abhrankashaha Vayuhu Kari Shankasha Vatya. Iti atra asya sutrasya vyakhyanam. So let's stop here, and in the next class, hopefully there are only like 4 or 5 sutras remaining. We should be able to finish the Khacha Pratyaya in the next class. If possible, we will also go ahead. So maybe we can also take, there are 3 sutras of the Da Pratyaya. Let's see how it goes. We will at least finish the khacha pratyaya in the next class. So samapayamaha, there is the exercise today. Again, maybe all questions might not be doable, but let's walk through this exercise. Krudvrittim vilikhya rupa siddhim pradarshayata. Dvishantapa we have studied. Purandara we have studied. Priyam vada we studied. Vachamyama we studied. Sarvam saha we studied. So all these 5 things we have studied. Sanक्षेपेण उत्तराणि लिखत. प्रातिपदिक ग्रहणे लिंग विशिष्टस्यापि ग्रहणम् अस्याः परिभाषायाः अनित्यत्वम् अनित्यत्वस्य किं ज्ञापकम्. So I've explained this ghattagatti thing. प्रातिपदिक ग्रहणे लिंग विशिष्टस्यापि ग्रहणम् अस्याः परिभाषायाः अनित्यत्वस्य किं फलम्. So what is the place where the anityatva is used over here? It is the dvishat parayoho tapehe sutra. So you can explain that. ग्रहणवता प्रातिपदिकेन तदंत विधिर्नास्ति. That's the paribhasha on the previous slide. Here I just copy pasted it from the yesterday's class and forget to change the paribhasha. It is grahणवता प्रातिपदिकेन तदंत विधिर्नास्ति. Anyway, we are going to learn that in the next class, not in this class, so we can skip this question for now. ग्रहणवता प्रातिपदिकेन तदंत विधिर्नास्ति. We want to discuss this paribhasha in details in the next class. Abhayankara shabdasya dvau arthau kau, that also we did not discuss today. So these 2 questions. And vachiyamo vrate sutrasya prayojanam chintyam. Why is vachiyamo vrate added over there? That's a question asked in Padamanjari. You should be able to answer that today. So except for these last 2 questions, everything is discussed today. These last 2 questions we will discuss in the next class. Samapayamaha. So mostly the next week will have sessions regular. There is a small conflict that I have, but I'll see if I can adjust it. I'll send an email if the classes are not there. If you do not get any email, then the classes will be as usual. So Samapayamaha. अष्टाध्ये जगन्माता यस्य चित्तात् समुत्थिता वेदानाम् उपकाराय तस्मै पाणिनये नमः. शब्द ब्रह्म समाराध्य कृतवान्यो विलक्षणम् सर्वाश्चर्यमिदं शास्त्रम् तस्मै पाणिनये नमः. येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः. धन्यवादः.